All right, everybody, you have got us. We are live. And of course, what kind of Tuesday night would it be without me and my buddy Cheese right here on the Lights Out Sports Podcast? Today, we're going to talk Packers. We're going to talk college football playoff. We might talk Field of Dreams just a little. We might do which NFC division will have the best record. But I promise you we'll do that and a whole lot more. But first, we have to go. Lights out.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Tonight, we rewrite the rules. The countdown has begun. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, Cheese, we got so much stuff to get and look forward to. That's why we're a little late. We're looking at all these notes and we're like, can we talk about that? Can we talk about that? We don't want a 9-hour show. Can we talk about this? So we've had to cut a few things, but we're still going to give you a fantastic Lights Out Sports podcast today. We're going to talk about a real turf monster. We'll get to that in a moment. Should sports reward teams that finish at 500 or below by putting them in the playoffs? We'll talk about that. We'll look at FIP. If you know, you know, but if you don't, you will soon. We'll do a lights out turn talk with that. We will look at what it takes to be and have a retired number. We'll talk about Crosby, Maddox, Fitzgerald, the White Sox, the Dodgers, the Bengals, and throwback uniforms. Yes, we're going to do all of that right here on the Lights Out Sports Podcast. Cheese, how you been, buddy?
I've been well. How has Mike Valentine been?
Oh, it's not near as busy this week as it was last week, but I tell you what, our fantastic fans, we did a lot last week on just our X and our YouTube platforms. I'm not counting any of the other platforms that we got, just those two, and we got close to 1,000 views last week on our X and our YouTubes together. So you guys responded. We did a lot of stuff last week, and we appreciate both.
We appreciate you.
We really do.
Yes.
She's like, I don't know. What do I say right now?
I didn't know it was my turn to talk, so I was, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know if you were going to go into another topic.
You.
Really bad call in that baseball game. Interesting.
Oh. And, of course, Cheese has got the games on right at the moment. If something happens, he will certainly get with us because it's all flailing all around him.
2 TVs. Yeah, I when you foul a ball, I don't know how you're out. But somehow Alex Bregman fouled the ball off the plate and he's out. Anyway, whatever.
Right? Hey, let's do a special thing real quick. Lights out sports history, Cheese. From the X account of Kevin Gallagher, today the Green Bay Packers turn 107 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Earl Curly Lambeau and George Whitney Calhoun organized a team of local men who wanted to play football, and Lambeau's employer, which was the Indiana Packing Company, donated, you ready? $500 for the team's uniform and gear, and Lambeau was then named team captain 3 days later. So the birth of the Packers today, they are 107 years old. You want to talk about them for a second, buddy?
Well, I'm a Green Bay Packer fan,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a cool story. And Curly Lambeau, legendary coach, and it's owned by the fans. There's board members. It's not owned. They don't have a Jerry Jones. They're owned by the fans. So it's pretty special, and it means a lot to the fans. It means a lot to the whole organization. It's just different, and Green Bay is like a college town. It's more like much more like College Station than like Houston or you know Atlanta. It's a very college atmosphere, and it's just one of the reasons I love it. I'd still love it anyway, but it's just it's very special to us fans.
All right. And then this week in sports history, I wanted to bring this one up too. We did a football one and we'll do a baseball one here just because it's the first time we're going to do this. From here on out, we'll only do one. July 22nd, 1997, Greg Maddux pitched a complete game versus the Chicago Cubs. For those of you who don't know, Greg Maddux pitched for the Braves, one of Cheese's teams, and he did it against the Cubs, Cheese's other baseball team. That's why I'm doing this right at the moment. And here is
I watched that game when I was a little kid. I watched it
way back when, right?
I did. It was incredible.
Do you remember this game, really?
I do.
Okay.
At the time when I watched it, I didn't realize. But then the next day on Sports Center, because when I was a kid, I loved ESPN Sports Center. Now I won't watch ESPN at all unless there's a college football game on. But I remember I didn't realize at the time how important it was. I was watching because of my two favorite teams, and I absolutely loved Maddux. He played for the Cubs and Braves, so it's pretty incredible what he did.
Yeah. So during this complete game, here's his final stat line. Cheese, you ready? 9 innings, of course. Only gave up 5 hits, 1 run, no walks, 6 strikeouts, and did all of that on 78 pitches. That's all he needed for all 9 innings, 78 pitches.
Yeah, back then, the Cubs had a lot of guys. Mark Race is probably the exception. They had a lot of guys that would just go out there hacking. They were known for that. They were known for not taking a lot of walks, and Maddux knew that, and he got a lot of weak contact as well. So, but yeah, it's Maddux had some 87 pitch complete games, 92 pitch. I mean, he did a lot of that. He was such an incredible pitcher. I don't think he's so unique. He's so different than any other. Matt Olson just hit it to kingdom come. Go Braves. But Maddux, my phone is buzzing like crazy. I know Matt Olson homered. I just saw it. But Maddux was so unique. There was no pitcher like him. There was no pitcher better getting weak contact. Every other pitcher of that generation, Kurt Schilling, Randy Johnson, Pedro Martinez, they missed bats. And he pitched to contact and still dominated. So he's a fascinating pitcher to me. Hi.
How you doing? Weasel? Yeah, okay. And then did we blast get Jerry right out of the gate? I don't know.
I mean, he was mentioned. I said we don't have an owner like Jerry Jones. Okay, John, I know you very well. You cannot act like Jerry has not been part of the problem. You can't act like he's made some terrible decisions. So
well, you saw today where they canceled practice, right?
Yeah, I did see that today. Yes, and of course, I recorded a video of the Cowboys before that happened and before they extended Quinn Williams. Of course, right after we recorded, all that stuff happens. So I did see that.
Well, no, they extended. Oh, yeah. Wait till you hear this. They had to stop practice today because they found a white crazy substance on the field. Everybody freaked out and backed away from it, and they shut everything down, called the cops and everything else. What it turned out to be was the chalk line where the end zone is, and nobody knew what that was on the Cowboys. So anyway. There you go. There you go, John. How about that one, buddy?
Oh, no, but it was a scary situation. Better safe than sorry.
Yes, very true.
but it's just funny that he brings up, like Jerry Jones made I'll say this about the Cowboys. Jerry's old. He's so old. I've seen videos of the draft video. I've seen Steven, his son. I think they'll be better run once Jerry passes. I hate to say that. That sounds bad. I don't want him to die. I don't have anything against Jerry Jones, but I think Steven is much smarter. If you watch some of those draft videos, I think they'll be better well run when Steven's in charge. But let me know in the comments if you agree, guys.
All right, I'll get to you in just a second, John. I see it. I'm grabbing something else here. I had all this stuff all put together. This is one of the other reasons why we're a little late. Can you see it? I had all this stuff all put together. You'll see it flash up on the screen. Just forget about it for a moment. I'll have to pull it back down, and yeah, there you go. I'll pull it back down real quick.
It's Irvin, not Irving, but okay.
Yeah, he's.
I'm a corrector.
Irvin, he was thinking Irvin was okay.
He was a heck of a receiver, though. So you should.
He was
so good.
he just did some other stuff too. No big deal. Okay, so let's get off the poor Cowboys here. But you did do a video on them today, and I even put out there because I actually listened to the video. I watched it today.
Okay, well, thank you for listening to my video.
I know that one of the likes was me, one of the views was me. So hey.
Okay, there you
go. But it's funny how you compare the Bengals, which is the team that one of the teams that I follow really closely, and you compare them to the Cowboys. I think it'll be interesting to see how everybody else reacts to that, and if they think you're right, that those two teams have a lot in common. All right, buddy. So we are going to get to the 5 Flamin' 5 and 5. Let's go ahead and do that now. This is the concept real fast. You get 5 minutes on a countdown. You get 5 questions. And if you can answer all of them correctly, then you'll get a follow-up question, the 5 Flamin' follow-up. And we'll have fun with all this here real fast. So let's do this. Let me get to where I need to go here. I don't know, something's going on here, and then the computer did something weird. So I think it updated while I was trying to get everything put together. And anyway, but we just go back and forth here. So the timer will start when I start the first question.
Okay.
And I do want to get to this here. Let's start the 5 Flamin' 5 and 5 music in the background right now. All right. Now that that's all set up and we are completely ready to go, ladies and gentlemen, let's get in to the 5 Flamin' 5 and 5 with the first question. Cheese. The NFL Hall of Fame game that was played last Thursday that Cheese and I did a watch along on, and if you haven't got a chance to see it, it's on our YouTube page. Go and view it. It's pretty good stuff. That game had more viewers than any regular season NBA game and more views than any NHL game, including any of the Stanley playoff games. Does that say more about the NBA and NHL, or does it say more about the power of the NFL, buddy? Which one do you think?
Well, definitely both, but it says more about the NBA and NHL because their product they're putting out there is not something that a lot of people want to watch. The regular season NBA has become kind of a joke. A lot of teams will sit their stars at certain times throughout the year. Just get in the playoffs doesn't really matter. And NHL, I just don't watch hockey, so I don't know much about it. But like their viewership, I've seen the ratings; it's terrible. So I think that a preseason football game is just more attractive, and those other sports, we've seen this. Baseball rating is going up, NFL ratings going up, NBA ratings going down. Not sure about hockey; maybe it's the same, but NBA ratings have been going down. So that's just a reality.
All right, sir. UCLA announced earlier in the week that they have hired former NFL quarterback Derek Carr as a special assistant to head coach Bob Chesney. And he'll work with the offensive game planning and work with the quarterbacks. Does this do anything for recruitment or for scouts when they're looking, or does it do anything for the graduating people on draft day? Anything at all for UCLA by hiring Derek Carr?
Possibly. but probably not as big as people think. Oh, they got this big name. I don't know. Like Derek Carr wasn't even that great. I mean, he was Raiders' second round pick. His brother was like a first overall pick, but he's like, it's not like you got like Peyton Manning. If Tennessee hired Peyton Manning, I think that would move the needle. If Michigan hired Tom Brady, that's one thing. But Derek Carr, I don't think this will do much at all, to be honest.
Okay. So the third question out of 5, as of today, before the game started today, the White Sox would get a first-round bye in the playoffs, and the Dodgers would not. Are the Dodgers as unbeatable as everybody assumes, Cheese?
Not quite. They are. I think they are one of the best rosters probably that I've ever seen, just on paper. But here's the scenario: the Braves keep winning. They're going to win tonight. The one out of the way. Brewers keep winning. I hate to say that, but okay, Dodgers are the 3 seed. Phillies are the 6 seed, and the Phillies have Christopher Sanchez. They have Zach Wheeler. Game 1 and 2. They have to play a 3-game series, first round. Maybe they can knock the Dodgers out. Maybe they can. I think the Phillies have the best chance. Phillies don't have a complete team. They have some big flaws, but they have that 1-2 punch that maybe can hang with the Dodgers. So, to answer your question, maybe not quite as unbeatable as people think.
All right. Speaking of unbeatable, it's been 36 years, Cheese, since the Browns have last won a division title. Yes, 36 years.
Bernie Kosar.
Cheese, what's the main reason?
They don't have Bernie Kosar.
Besides Bernie.
It's one of the worst run franchises in sports. It's been so bad for so many reasons. This is a 5-5, so I can't just sit here and go over it. But they had bad ownership, hires the wrong people, hires the wrong head coach, drafts the wrong players, and Jimmy Haslam has been a terrible owner as well. I do like their last 2 drafts. It's more positive probably now than it's been as far as like young players. They still don't have a quarterback. It's just such a poorly run organization in every aspect for the last 30 years.
Okay, sir. Lastly, head coach Zach Taylor of the Cincinnati Bengals said that Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Dexter Lawrence will play in this Thursday's preseason opener against the Detroit Lions. Is that smart? Is that the way to go?
Yeah, I like it. Why not? Play him. Look, they're going to play 5 snaps, maybe, at most. Dexter Lawrence might play like 2 and then just pull him out. First and second down, he's done. Why not? Like, I think it's become a situation where they're too scared of injuries. You got to play them a little bit. You have to have some chemistry. You have to have some game action besides practice. So I like this, but I don't want Burrow playing more than 1 series. I don't want Dexter Lawrence playing more than 2 plays. Oh, look at all the time left over.
Look at that, boy! Look at you. Ooh. I don't think you've ever done it with that much time left. You're improving more and more every week on this game show. See?
Maybe I'll do all 5 questions in a minute at some point.
Well, now let's not go that far. All right. We do have the follow-up though, so this is of course the 5 Flamin' 5 follow-up. And here it is, buddy. It goes back to what we were just talking about with Zach Taylor, the Cincinnati Bengals, and all of this. Cheese, does it matter about home and away as far as where the preseason games are? Because you've got 3 now, so you're either going to have 2 at home and 1 away, or 2 away and 1 at home. Does that really matter?
No, it doesn't matter at all. What they do is, because there's 17 games today, it should be 16 or 18. It's stupid. If you have 1 less or 1 fewer home game in the regular season, you get 1 more preseason game. Mm-hmm. I don't think it really matters at all. It's an exhibition game.
Okay. So the Bengals preseason schedule is this Thursday. They're home against the Lions. Then they're home against the Bears. And then they're away at Philadelphia. The Bengals have said they're going to play the starters, as we just mentioned, in this game 1. So my question to you, Cheese, is should teams play their starters for at least some of their home games and not worry so much about the games where they go on the road?
It's really not about that. It's the timing of the games. I think the second game, you want to play your starters the most. The third game should be all about giving the last 4 or 5 guys trying to make the roster as much opportunity. Okay. But the second game, you should be trying to get some kind of chemistry. So I don't think it matters where you play. I think it matters which game it is.
So we talked about this earlier too. The viewership for that Hall of Fame game was through the roof. Over 7 million viewers watched that game. So
it was a great game. It was so fun. We watched a lot. I'll give it that. I enjoyed it so much.
We were going, okay, we're going to go ahead and do this game, or we're going to do the watch along, and it's going to be awful by the second half. And, we've got all these topics that we had put together, and we didn't get to hardly any of them because the game was so good. So that just kind of helps me with this question here, Cheese. Do you think that cements the idea that teams don't need to play their starters in the preseason?
Yeah, probably.
Yes.
Well, okay, so the game had something going for it.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals fans wanted to see Carson Beck. I wanted to see Carson Beck. You wanted to see Carson Beck.
I did.
And I don't think anyone necessarily, besides a Panther fan, it's like, oh, we have to watch Haynes King, but he played well too. Mm-hmm. There was just a lot of interesting things going on in that game, more so than most Hall of Fame games. A lot of Hall of Fame games, there's not necessarily something to watch for, minus the team playing had someone in the Hall of Fame, like Larry Fitzgerald or Luke Kuechly. But there was something to watch in that game. And I hate PFF grades. I like PFF's database. Mm-hmm. I really like it. It helps me as a content creator. I hate the grading system. I hate the way they do it. But I did look at the grades because I was curious. The offensive grades for both teams were off the charts. The defensive grades were terrible. And so that lines up. That's what it was. It was a fun game. The offenses were amazing. Both defenses were kind of a mess, especially the Cardinals. Well, the Cardinals' offensive grades were just incredible, especially the offensive line and Carson Beck. There were so many good offensive line grades in Carson Beck. So that grade, those grades are probably the best I've ever seen PFF do. Maybe they're getting better, probably not. So it was just such an entertaining game, and we're never probably going to see a Hall of Fame game that entertaining. But at least they pick a game based on who's getting the Hall of Fame. We'll pick that team. Mm-hmm. But man, they should maybe. I guess I can't switch it after the draft, but. We want to see the young quarterbacks. We want to see how they perform. So that is what helped the game, helped the viewership.
Yeah, very, very true. All right, buddy. So I love 5-5-5. We're done with that. Let's move on to Lights Out Mega Matchup. Something new that we're bringing into the Lights Out Sports podcast here. It's presented by Anubis Sports, who we have now matched up with. And you can see our podcast in selected articles based on Lights Out Sports podcast segments. So Anubis Sports is the official sports website of the Lights Out Sports podcast. You can find them on X at
Anubis Sports. Do you have a cat?
Do what?
Sorry, do you have a cat?
Yes, the cat's in here.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right.
You like dogs. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, it's at my feet, and I keep kicking. Anyway.
That's like my dad. My mom used to have cats. He was always doing that.
They very seldom come into this room where I'm at, but I guess every once in a while you're probably going to hear the cat.
I keep hearing meow. I'm like,
yes,
that's not
I will publicly thank my daughter for allowing her cat to be here with us, and that's the one that's in here. So, yeah, there she is again. Okay. Anyway.
Sports.
Yes, let's talk about sports instead of cats, So you can find Anubis Sports on X at Anubis HQ, and they're on Facebook and Instagram, Anubis Sports, high-quality sports stories, thanks, Kat, that are opinion-driven and professionally written. So, Cheese, some matchups for this weekend in Major League Baseball. Tell me which one of these you think will be the most interesting or the one that you're looking forward to the most.
There's different questions, but go ahead.
Yes, I'm giving you either one. You can take whichever one of those two you want.
Okay.
So Diamondbacks, Braves. I'm going to kill this cat. Mariners.
That's murder.
Yes. Mariners and Astros. Padres at Guardians,
Not Mariners.
Cardinals at Cubs, or Brewers at Dodgers?
Well, obviously, I'm looking forward to the Diamondbacks Braves the most, but the answer to the other question is Brewers Dodgers is definitely the most fascinating because Brewers right now have the best record in the NL. Dodgers 3. This could be a huge, like we could look back at this series and say, the Brewers are the 3rd seed, Dodgers are the 1st, and vice versa. Like it'd be that close. So the most important is Brewers Dodgers, but I'm looking forward to Diamondbacks Braves. Of course I am.
Yes.
Okay. What did the cat ask the cat?
Yes. She's right up here, like right on my lap, and I'm like holding her down, like don't get up here in the screen. Oh man.
Did she but you didn't mention the Tigers, so that's why she's mad.
That could be. That could very well be. She was like, you mentioned my family.
My sister just texted me. She said, "More cat, please." More.
Oh, who texted you and said it?
My sister. She has a cat.
Your sister?
Yeah. She said, "More cat, please." I didn't even know, Mike. There was a kid. There's the kitty. Oh.
There. Are you happy? This cat's huge. I can barely pick her up. Look at that. That thing's huge.
Yeah, tortoiseshell.
Here, hang on. While I've got her in my arms, I'm going to take her out real quick. We're going to talk next. Oh, I gotta do this, don't I?
That's a tortoiseshell.
I can't see myself in the thing.
Right.
So we're going to talk college football here in just a moment, Cheese.
Okay.
Segue for me, would you please? I'm going to throw this cat out real fast.
Yes. We're about to talk college football. We're almost there. Season's about to start. So we will talk a lot more college football come September, but we are excited. We both love college football. I think it's the number 2. It's the number 2 sport in America. MLB is number 2 sport as far as professional, but the number 2 sport in America is not Major League Baseball. College football is number 2 behind NFL. So college football is getting bigger and bigger. Okay, that's a tortoiseshell, right? Okay, he still can't hear me. I've asked him that like 3 times. Mike, I have a question about the cat.
Oh, please do.
Is that a tortoiseshell?
Oh, I have no idea what that even
I think
means.
it is. It's a tortoiseshell. My mom's had 2 of them, and they don't shut up. All they do is they meow. They never shut up. My mom has had 2 of them.
Well, I apologize for that award-winning part of the show, but I wanted to get the cat out of here. So, yeah.
Okay. Good job.
All right, Chiefs. So, according to Heather Dinich, the senior college football insider for ESPN, there was a video conference yesterday that took place, and the committee discussed a 20 and also a 2014 playoff. So, Cheese, would you like to see a 20 or a 2014 playoff?
Is that a serious question?
I know the answer to it, but our fans might not.
I liked 4. I liked 4 because you had to earn it. You had to be good every week. No, I don't. I don't like 12 either. 12 created so many problems this year. So I don't know that 20 or 24 is. I don't know, Mike. What do you think? I want to know what you think because I don't know what to make of this.
Well, I don't know what to make of that either.
Hate. Apparently, I'm hateful. I'm hateful.
Maybe that might be it. Well, here I'll tell you what. Let me take up for this. I know you don't like it. I kind of want to see more, right? So the NFL has 32 teams and they've got 14 teams in the playoff. Major League Baseball has 32 teams. They've got 12 that make the playoffs. The NBA has 30 teams and 16 make it. NHL has 32 teams and 16 make it. There are over 770 teams in college football. Currently, if you whittle it down to just the Division I FBS, and I'll have you explain that to everybody here in a second, there's 138 teams. So Cheese, what do we mean by Division I FBS?
There's FBS, there's FCS. They have their own. FCS was Division I AA. Apparently that was not 1 AA. You can't call it that, so they changed the name. It's stupid, but they have their own champion. So, the winner of the FCS or 1 AA, if they ever played the winner of the 1A or FBS, they get killed. They get murdered.
Yeah. So the teams that we usually watch, right, are a part of these 138 Division I FBS teams, but only 12 of them make the playoffs. why wouldn't you want more? We want to create more hope. We want to create, your team actually has a shot to make it into something, right?
Mike wants
Yes,
hope.
I do.
Mike wants hope. Real
Sounds like a
quick,
t-shirt.
some examples are UTC, UT Chattanooga, UT Martin, Montana State. Those are FCS teams. I was about to say North Dakota State, but I think they're moving to. They've won a lot of titles in FCS. I think they're moving to FBS, but okay.
Yes.
Okay. I'm talking to the person who loves bowl games more than anyone I've ever met.
I do.
And,
You're right.
And this destroys bowl games. I liked when it was 4, and I could watch the Rose Bowl, and the Fiesta Bowl, and the Cotton Bowl, and the Peach Bowl, and you got to see cool matchups. And the reason, the main reason I liked 4 is the regular season matters. And I'm going to use a team you really love as an example.
Okay.
Ohio State won the national title 2 years ago. They were the best team in the country, but they did not have the best regular season. They lost 2 games. They lost 2 games they should not have lost, but they did.
Mhm.
And if it was the old rules, they wouldn't have sniffed the national title. They had the most talent. They lost a 1-point game at Oregon. They blew it. They played a game they should have won by 3 touchdowns and played about as bad as you could play against Michigan. So because of that, they became the 8th seed, but there were 12 team playoffs. And then when you watch them play against Tennessee, who was very good that year, you're like, okay, I don't think anyone's beating Ohio State. I think we both realized at that point, like, this is going to be bad for the rest of the college football. But the regular season didn't matter. Those losses didn't matter is my point. That's why I like that. So the more you add, you're going to get like James Madison's in there, Tulane's in there, Duke's in there. I don't want them in there. I don't think they should be in there. I get you saying give everyone a chance, but they're not going to win it. There's no way Tulane, Duke, and James Madison are going to win 4 games in a row. It's just not going to happen. So why are we even doing this?
Well, I don't want to give everyone a chance, but I also have to say, Cheese, I think you may or may not agree with me. I don't know. I'm to be honest with you, I'm kind of getting out of basketball, so maybe this is a bad example. But when you start that tournament of 64 teams, those first couple of weekends are just great because it's just back to back to back to back to back games, and it's all kinds of action. And
basketball's different than football.
Whoa, what? It's still a sport.
Mm.
Why is it so much different?
It's different because a 14 seed can beat a 3 seed every year. In fact, probably at least half the years a 14 beats a 3. 12s beat 5 all the time.
Okay.
A 24 seed's not going to beat a number 1 seed. Almost never. I mean, it's just.
I'm not saying they are, but you're going
to. Indiana number 1 seed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone like Tulane might have been 24, right? Indiana would have won by 4 touchdowns probably. Like, it's just the chance of them winning is very, very small. Like, it's better in basketball. That's all I'm saying.
I do like the bowl games. I have to give you that. But
they're about gone if you go to 24. They're gone.
Yeah. See, now if that's the case, then no, I don't want to go any higher than what we are now. I think if we keep the bowl games and we keep 12, I think that's a good compromise. I don't want to go to 24 if we knock out bowl games, and I don't want to have to go to 24 if we knock out conference championship games, because I don't want to knock those out either. So if we go to an extended playoff at the expense of taking away some of those, then I'm not for it. So it just kind of depends on, I guess, how the committee's looking at everything.
I remember when the fight was that 2 is not fair because when it was 2, it was like the SEC is guaranteed a spot, and that's not fair because it's SEC Big Ten a lot of the time. Okay, so we went to 4, and then people complained about that. Instead of going to 8, which is probably what they should have done, I like 8 a lot, and then it's like, let's go to 12 and give the top 4 teams a bye. That way they get something. It's like, okay, but those teams have struggled. Most of those teams have really struggled because they take 3 weeks off. So it's just like, Now people are complaining about 12. Oh, eventually we're going to have 64. Is that what we're going to do, Mike? 64 tournament, just like basketball. We're going to have that for football. Maybe. We might
Maybe.
eventually have a 10-game regular season where Tennessee might play Texas A&M once every 10 years in the same conference to go to 64 teams. Like, how much is enough? It's just getting absolutely ridiculous. And I like the 4. I like the Final 4.
Okay, so what about here? What John is asking? Do you like the playoffs better than the BCS?
Well, BCS, was that 2? Wasn't that just 2? I like 2.
I mean, for me, Cheese, the big thing about the BCS was it was kind of a computer-driven, analytical type model as to who gets in and who doesn't get in.
I'd rather
I like the committee base a little bit better.
I like the BCS better than the committee. The committee's idiots. I disagree with 2 of the teams that got in last year. I don't think Alabama should have gotten in at all. I disagree. So I'd like the BCS better. I like the computers better.
Okay.
Terminators.
That's what we do the show for, right? I mean, again, if we agreed on every single thing, this thing would be boring. Not that it's not now, except for the cat. But
well, the 4. Here's why I liked 4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was Florida, Ohio State that year. It was Alabama, Ohio State another year. It's just like, okay, you don't want Big Ten versus SEC every time. That's why 4. Get 4. If someone in the Big 12 or ACC was awesome and dominant, then they get in too. So I just feel like the losses mean less in the regular season. You can lose to Michigan late in the year, your last regular season game, and it didn't matter because they were getting in the playoff anyway. That game, I really think Ohio State would have won that game if it meant making the playoff or not. I think subconsciously, they may have lost that game. Not that they didn't try, but it just didn't mean as much. It meant way more to Michigan, who has no chance of making the playoff. They were not good that year. So it just feels like the regular season means less, and that's what frustrates me.
And I understand that point. Here's how I'll kind of wrap up my part of it before we get into our next small topic here, branching off of this topic. But I either want a few or I want a lot. And the reason why I say that is, like we do with the NCAA tournament, you get, Rutgers, or you get, one of these teams that's the Cinderella, right? Every year there's a Cinderella team. And you're not going to get a Cinderella team.
Loyola Marymount.
Right. One of those teams that everybody kind of gets behind,
yeah.
And we're like, oh, I think they can do it. And I think they can do it. And they never do.
George Mason made a Final Four. Sorry, you made a rookie.
Right. I get it. But, they're I don't think those teams are ever going to be the champion, but it gives them hope, right? It's kind of like the Jets in the NFL, right? I mean, how many are the Browns? How many years have their fan bases they may as well just put bags over their heads and come to the game because they don't have a shot. That's not what the NFL wants. And I don't think that's what college football wants either. We want to feel like everybody in the college football landscape at least has a chance. And right now they don't have a chance.
But they don't.
Okay. So I want to circle back to all these sports combined, Cheese. NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, college football, and college baseball. In any of these sports, should those sports allow a team with a season record under 500 to make it to their playoffs?
Never. It's one of the criticisms of the NBA. I don't know too much about NHL, to be honest with you, but the NBA is like half the teams make the playoffs, and a lot of times the 8th seed and one of them has a losing record. No, I think too many teams make the playoffs. One thing I liked about baseball growing up was it was earned, the postseason. I think only 4 teams in each division, right? 4 teams in each American League and National League made it. Okay, I get why they wanted to expand on that. That's only 4, but now it's too many to me. Like, it should be earned. So, no, a losing record. How are you in the playoffs? No, but if the problem is, like, if you have an uneven amount of teams, how do you do the playoff? That's the big problem with it.
Right. That, and you've split it up into the divisions, and somebody's got to win that division, even if they have a losing record. And that happened in the NFL a few years ago, right? They had a team that won the division but had a losing record, and they still got to go
last year. The Carolina Panthers were 8-9, 3-way tie for first place. They hosted the Rams. They lost, but they had no business hosting. And I still remember it was about a decade ago. The Seahawks had a losing record, hosted the Saints, 4 games better. And Marshawn Lynch just went off in that game. And so the Saints, who won 11 or 12 games that year, were one and done versus an 8-19. That should not never happen. But that's a whole topic another day, how NFL does their playoffs. I hate it, but we'll talk about that another time.
Okay. So last thing here, MLB only allows 12 teams, as you mentioned, in the playoffs currently, which is the lowest number of the 4 major sports. But both of us like it because we feel like it's a little more earned than the other sports. So currently, if you would increase it to 16, like the NBA or the NHL, that would be 8 from the National League and 8 from the American League. And in the American League, the Twins and the Tigers would actually make it, and both of them have losing records. In the National League, the Padres and the Marlins would currently be the extra 2 teams that would make it, and they both have winning records. So, Cheese, should there be a rule across all sports that you can't make the playoffs in your sport with a losing record?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know how they can. The problem is, like, there's going to be years where, I mean, there might be a year where 3 teams in the National League win over 100 games, and then there's just a huge drop off. Like, okay, I think we can both agree that 6 is better than 5. When they had that 5 teams that one playing game, lose, win or nothing, you're done. Yeah. That was terrible. So 6 is better than 5, but I just hope baseball doesn't go more than 6. And I think they probably will. The NFL had 6 for the longest time. I liked it. 2 teams got to buy, not just 1, 2. Because, like, you can win 15 games and not going to buy. Because the other team won 15 games. No, and then they added the 7th. You know why they added the 7th? Because Jerry Jones complained all the time because the Cowboys were going 9-7 every year, and he whined and complained because they missed the playoffs half the time because they won 9 games. But now you have a situation where only 1 team gets a bye, and too many teams just make the playoffs. I just hope baseball stays at 6-6, no more. All
right. So, what do you think here? 298. What is the name here? Oh, we'll just call him 298.
Oh, or your Orn. Or
298.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes we hate the schedule too. It just kind of depends on who plays what. You're not saying which sports you're talking about, but and then the answer to this question, by the way, at least for me, is 0. I'll put it up on the screen and we'll see if Cheese agrees. Here's the question. Mm-hmm. What do you think the chances are that the Dolphins make the playoffs this year? Are you going to go above 0?
If there's a chance to be less than 0, I could, but you can't. So I would go negative if that was a possibility. That roster is not good. It's going to be a rough year in Miami.
All right.
They're rebuilding.
They are. So they have a plan at least, right? Hopefully.
I mean, they have a guy in place that may have a plan. I don't know.
Okay.
I think the Jets have a plan.
Yes, and you talk about that on your latest Jets video, by the way. Good plug there. Good segue for you, buddy.
Well, the Dolphins, I think they do have a plan. I don't know exactly what it is.
Well, they're in like year 1 of their plan, to be fair. Jets are in like year 3 or 4 of this rebuild, so we kind of see where it's going, and we have seen them draft certain players and bring in certain players, and you're like, oh, okay, well they're building this line, and they're doing this, and as you point out in your video, they're going to surround their new quarterback, and that's kind of where you go in the latest video that you've got out. That was on the Jets. Actually, that one wasn't the latest one. You did
Jets was a couple days ago. I've done Patriots and Cowboys since. Today was the Dallas Cowboy video.
Okay. I get them kind of mixed up here. And we're going to do a lights out trivia here presented by Hit Machine Sports Cards and Collectibles, as they're now offering branding kits and designs. I don't know if you saw it today, but the Lights Out Sports podcast and All Gloves Off Sports Media has entered an agreement with them. So now they're going to start sponsoring the show. And we'll get more into detail about that later, where they offer quality banners, logos, templates, and designs, as well as a unique brand identity and a comprehensive brand strategy as well. Follow them on X at HitMachineHQ, and then send them a direct message, and they'll get back to you. So, Cheese, I want to get into college baseball a little bit more. You've kind of fueled that fire in me when we were talking about the MLB draft, and I started looking at stuff and all of this. So I have a trivia question for you based on college baseball.
Oh God.
Yes. Here we go.
Okay.
It's a number you have to guess, so it's not that hard, okay? How many current college baseball teams have made it to the round of 64 for 5 or more consecutive years?
Do you have the list of the teams?
I do, actually. I have them right
Okay.
there, but I didn't include them in the notes because I didn't want you to see them.
No, but I'm just saying, like, once we know the number, I want to try to guess.
Okay.
I'm one of those guys that doesn't really watch college baseball except when it gets to like the very like the College World Series. I'll start tuning in. The round of 64 5 straight years is tough.
Yes, it is. Remember, let's see.
Just 5.
Just 5.
Is it more than 5? Less than 5?
It's quite a few more than 5.
Okay. 12. I'm just kidding.
You're closer with 12. It's 14.
Oh, 14
okay. Teams.
14 and 64. That's pretty good. Okay.
Yes. 14 teams have made it to the round of 64, 5 or more consecutive years, and that counted this past year. We could get into some more of this, but I won't right at the moment because we're I don't want to say we're pressed for time, but we are kind of pressed for time all at the same time. So
LSU, Florida
is okay. So
Oklahoma, Mississippi State, Virginia.
Okay, I'll let you keep guessing for a minute.
Florida State, Georgia Tech. I don't know. I'm just.
No, you're doing pretty well, actually.
Texas A&M.
So let's do it this way, Cheese.
Okay.
You've got at least half of them.
Okay.
3 teams have made it 5 years in a row. Those 3 teams are Texas, Oregon, and Arizona. They've each made it 5 in a row. Tennessee has made it 6 years in a row.
Why did I get Tennessee?
East Carolina has made it 7 in a row.
Oh, I would never have guessed that one.
Oregon State, North Carolina, and Arkansas have made it 8 years in a row.
Oregon State's usually really good, yeah.
Mm-hmm, they really are.
Yeah.
Southern Miss has made it 9 years in a row.
Okay.
One that nobody's going to get. This team has made it 11 years in a row to the 64-team playoff. Dallas Baptist.
Oh, my God. Ben Zobrist went there.
Oklahoma State, 12 years in a row. You mentioned this team, LSU, 13 years in a row. You mentioned this team as well, the team that's in second place. Florida has made it 17 years in a row. But you didn't mention number 1. They've made it 19 consecutive years into the team of 64.
Let me think. Georgia?
No.
Is it SEC?
I don't think so. I believe ACC.
Clemson?
Mm-hmm.
I said Florida State. No. Said Georgia Tech. Who? I said Virginia. No. Who?
Vanderbilt.
They're SEC.
Are they SEC? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. I missed you all.
That's okay. That's okay.
That's
Vanderbilt's always usually very good.
Vanderbilt's always good. So,
yeah.
Yes. All right, buddy. So we're going to switch gears a little bit here. We're going to go into our baseball. Hold on here. We got some comments over here. Let's get to those. It's the money play, ratings, ads, networks, rights. 6 was better than 7. I get what you're saying, John. The more playoff games you have, the more revenue, the more, I completely and totally understand that. And I'm sure that there is a business aspect that all of these sports are looking at as well.
And they add a Monday night game. If you get that game in the first round of the playoffs, that Monday night, you have shorter amount of time for your next opponent. So you get screwed. The scheduling will screw you. It's they should never have gone to 7 games, and I do blame the Cowboys.
Why not? We may as well just blame the Cowboys for everything, right?
We'd probably be right.
All right, so we're going to transition into our baseball real fast, and then we'll get to your NFL stuff. And then, of course, at the end, we always do batting cleanup, brought to you by ForwardFan.com. We'll get to all that. We'll start the baseball now. Of course, there it is, the best graphic in all of sports. What more could you want, Cheese? A baseball, fire. I mean, come on now. That's pretty much got it all. We just need a little bit of blood and guts in there, and we'd be great. You know,
it's a great graphic.
All right, buddy. So, our baseball starts off this way. You know that I'm gonna go crazy on this topic. You just know I am. When you sent this to me, I had to do a ton of research on it, and yeah, it's crazy. Here's the setup, Cheese. The Philadelphia Inquirer found disturbing facts about the artificial turf at now demolished Veterans Stadium. The stadium actually sold 4x4 pieces of the turf in sealed bags, and the Inquirer purchased 4 of them off of eBay. These samples were then sent to 2 different labs for testing, and what they found was very disturbing. So I'm going to go through this stuff, and I'm going to try to keep my cool here and not go too crazy. But both labs came to the same conclusion, Cheese. There were 16 of what they call forever chemicals in the turf. And 16 of these chemicals that are very dangerous and that their name implies they never go away. So my first question to you, Cheese, is do you think the Phillies, or more importantly, Major League Baseball, knew about these chemicals that was in this turf?
It's impossible to know. Even if they did know, they might not have known the extent. But the Phillies especially, it's your stadium. Even if you lease it, it's still your stadium. You should know what's there. But it's impossible to know. But if for some reason both parties knew, or one of, or both, then that's so wrong. That's awful.
Yeah, and it's going to get worse here. So 6 players, Cheese, who played for the Phillies died in either their 40s or 50s. I want to mention everybody's names here and give them and their families the due that they get, or they should receive, right? Tug McGraw, Darren Dalton, John Vukovich, John Oates, Ken Brett, and David West. And all of them were diagnosed with, you're going to have to help me on this one maybe, glioblastoma, I believe is how you say it. So, personally, Cheese, I don't believe in coincidences. So do you think that these facts are a coincidence?
No, 1 or 2 maybe. No, I remember when Darren Dalton died. I was like, "What?" Like, I watched Darren Dalton play. Didn't I was like shocked. I don't, and he's a catcher, so he's like down on the turf a lot. He was a catcher, right?
Yes.
I think sure. Yeah, okay, just making sure. I knew you'd know. This cannot be a coincidence. You know how many there's lots of types of cancers, lots of just 40s and 50s. Like Darren Dalton was 55 years old. This is not a coincidence. There's no way.
Then Gary Carter played for the Mets. He was on that field a lot too. He passed away from basically the same kind of thing. A lot of people are pointing at that too. So there could possibly be a 7th player. This is terrible, Cheese. And believe it or not, it's going to get worse. We're only 2 questions in. I got like 6. So the U.S. federal government estimates that 12,000 turfs that contain these quote-unquote forever chemicals exist in the U.S. today. So, Cheese, why are we just learning about this? And why does no one seem to care?
We're just learning about this because I'm sure they tried to keep it silent for the longest time, as long as they could, uh, because it's probably cheaper. Making these turfs this way probably saves like 10 cents on the dollar or something like that. So
Yeah.
that's why it's all about money. It's like the vaccines, the people pushing the vaccines, the politicians telling you, oh, you got to take this, take this. They're getting paid by, the vaccine companies. So of course they're going to tell you to do it, right? That's
Right.
that's what they're going to do. And Rogers is loving life right now because he was right. But anyway, um,
Relax,
that
Chief. Relax. No, go ahead.
relax. No, I mean, I refuse to get vaccinated. So, but the second part of your question, why does no one seem to care? I don't know. This should be the biggest story. This should be like when the Penn State, what's his name, the 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 coordinator that was caught with doing stuff
Oh,
with children. Um, Help me with his name. That was like all over everything. ESPN wouldn't stop talking about it. It was all over every article. Sandusky.
there you go.
This should be up there with that because this is huge. This is a huge story. It could still be affecting people. I have no idea why no one seems to care. I came across it. I was surprised. I almost didn't believe it at first because like I would have heard about this. This would be on national news, but I have no idea. Why do you think this hasn't become a bigger thing?
It's got to be what you mentioned earlier. It's got to be the money. I mean, there's no other reason behind it. Um, that's got to be what it is, and that kind of leads me to this, Cheese. I want to talk to parents for a moment, buddy. I have a child, but she's grown. She's not playing on a field anymore or anything like that, unless she has kids and then she goes to the playground or something. But parents, are your kids playing on one of these turfs? I assume if it is the cost that has 12,000 of them, is what the government says they assume is out there, that they're playing on a bunch of these surfaces right now. Is it worth it to you to know that there is a possibility of even one child dying too young to save your school's athletic department a few $1,000s?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, it's just impossible to know if the surface is bad or not right now. We don't know. Like and those players play baseball their whole lives. They may be playing on the surfaces since they were kids. That's a good bring up. They might have been playing on that surface since they were 6 years old. Similar surfaces.
Yeah.
But even so, Philly playing it a long time, like it just as an adult, you don't know. And I hope this becomes bigger. I hope we find out more. I hope we find out if people knew about this and didn't care. Um, if there's a company selling stuff like this, they know it's going on. They know that it causes cancer, and they still sell it to little leagues. They should be held accountable.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, little leagues, parks, this surface is all over the place now. Um, why can't we just replace all this stuff with natural grass?
Because it costs more and it's high maintenance. That's it.
That's the second part, I think, is what's really big.
Yep.
Hello, what's up to you? We appreciate you checking in. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, not only does it probably cost more to install in the beginning, but as you just said, it's the upkeep. It's the expense behind all that. I mean, we watch baseball all the time, Cheese. Both, you and I both do. It's mostly played on about half and half on a natural grass surface, but even the dirt, right? When it rains, I'm sure you saw the Pirates game the other day between them and the Reds when it just poured down rain. And they went out there and they stalled for like 10 or 15 minutes to get everything back into shape because they had to get that game in. We talked about it actually last week. So, how much money was all those bags of dirt they took out there? How much money do they have to pay those grounds crew keepers to do everything? It's all about money. But we already know the dangers, Cheese, and the injuries that happen from these types of turfs. We talked about that 2 weeks ago. So what else do we have to do to not just raise awareness, but to get these fields replaced, Cheese? What are we going to have to do, buddy?
I don't know, because if these kids are going to get that later in life in their 40s or 50s, we won't know till they'll get to their 40s or 50s. It may cause a lot of bad things happening. A lot of people getting cancer and realizing this. This story needs to just take off, but it hasn't. That tells you the people that are probably making these fields, making money off it, are the ones in charge. They're the ones like running all these big companies. I really want to shout out some of these big companies that do awful things, but I'm not going to do it. BR, VG, SS. Anyway, you can maybe some of you can figure out what companies that are basically running everything and don't care and they'll poison us. They just don't care. I'm guessing they're involved. I'm just guessing. I might be wrong. So I don't know, but this story needs to go. Like ESPN should be talking about this. But if the people in charge making money, they can pay off the media, and it's sad.
Right, and we don't make any money anyway, so nobody can pay us off. So we're just gonna
wouldn't take it anyway. I wouldn't take it anyway.
100%, 100% right. I was just kind of making light of it, but
I definitely know you wouldn't either.
No, we need.
If you don't know, Mike has turned down some sponsorships before. So he's turned down some people that want to sponsor us because he just didn't believe in what they were selling.
I have to believe in what we're sponsoring. So that when you hear we have a sponsor, we have looked into it. We have made sure that they're credible. We've done our homework before we allow them to sponsor this show or anything else on All Gloves Off Sports Media, by the way. Any of the other podcasts that we have, which are absolutely fantastic. We have 10 of them on the show now. So make sure I don't think we've done this yet. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel. Make sure you go to our X page. Make sure that you like, you follow, you subscribe, you do all of those things. And we got a new social media. We'll talk about it here in a little bit as well. So, Cheese, I would hate to think that what I love, which is sports, is killing men and women and children at the expense of a few dollars, Cheese. This is a problem. And we need to go to every park. We need to go to every practice field, and we need to go to every stadium and figure out if they're using this chemical. But who's going to lead that charge, Cheese?
We need someone big. Someone big needs to lead the charge. Like, who would lead the charge, but he passed away. Tony Gwynn, maybe Kirby Puckett. They passed away. But maybe they got cancer because they played on turf. I don't know. Like Kirby Puckett and Tony Gwynn, we need them back. Someone like that. Someone who is iconic. Someone who, was just an ambassador to the game at the time. Mm-hmm. So we need someone like that. Ty Wingington comes out. Javier Valentin comes out. Just random guys that when I was in college that were playing baseball that some of you may not have heard of. That's not going to do anything. It's got to be someone big.
Yeah, it's going to have to be, Griffey or, somebody like that.
That would be amazing if someone like Griffey did that. I got to look at Tony Gwynn and Kirby Puckett.
The story could get legs and really grow. There's already 6 of them that have passed away, and they can't specifically link him to it. But as I said a few moments ago, I don't believe in coincidences. So
2, maybe 6. Right. Come
6. On. Yeah, come on. All right. So we got a question here from one of our viewers. Let's look at it. Kalen DeBoer. What do you think about Kalen DeBoer?
I think he just got extended. I could be wrong. In the offseason, let me look it up. The problem with him is, did he get extended? He's replacing Nick Saban. And he goes to a university that they expect to win the national title every year. And if they don't, they're pissed. Yeah, he agreed to a 7-year extension in April 2026, so he's probably not going anywhere. We see Florida State keep their coach because he made so much money. I think he's a fine coach. I don't think he was the best fit and the right choice for Alabama, to be honest with you. We'll see. Even though he signed an extension, he'd probably stay for 2 more years at least. But I just don't think he was the right fit. And I think he got the job because he inherited a Washington team with a lot of talent. He left Fresno State, was there 2 years, and that team was loaded. And I don't necessarily think he's like this amazing coach. So I don't know. I thought Alabama could have done better.
All right, so we're gonna we're jumping around a little bit here. We're gonna get to our football stuff here in just a second. We really wanted to talk about that particular topic in MLB, but we also are trying to keep this podcast a little bit shorter. We've had some really long stuff last week, and we're going to condense this down a little bit. But I do want to tell you that we are going to have a big show probably right after the playoffs where we will talk about the CBA, and that expires at the end of the season. So we're going to start a weekly thing on the Sports Pulpit where I'm going to talk about things that I would like to see, other things that I would like to see negotiated into the CBA contracts. We'll start that this week here on the Sports Pulpit. So tune into that. Like I said, go over to our YouTube, All Gloves Off Sports Media on YouTube, and hit that follow button, hit the like. Make sure you got us. We're almost to 150, and we are almost to 100 on our new social media platform that you can scan the code here. We'll give that to you in just a second. While I'm preparing all of that, Cheese, tell everybody where they can go to get your content, buddy. Where can they go?
Yeah, YouTube Football with Cheese. You can see it on the mug here. Cheese is CHEEZ. And then on X, Football Cheese without the with, basically.
Okay, so this particular spot is going to be sponsored by our new TikTok account. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'll give you a few seconds. Get out your phone, scan that. We just reached 100 followers, and we've only been on TikTok for like 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks. Great clips that we're going to have, not only of Lights Out Sports Podcast, but of all of our other shows. And I know a lot of you just love TikTok. My wife is a TikTok addict. She's on it all the time. So get on there, scan this code, go to @AllGlovesOff on TikTok, and we are there now. Like I said, we're trying to do everything, and TikTok is just the newest one that we are doing. But what TikTok is sponsoring today is our stat of the week. And here it is, buddy. Let me get back to where I need to be. There we go. So going into Monday's game, Cheese, there are 6 players in Major League Baseball who have had more walks than strikeouts. That's right. They've got more walks than strikeouts. There's 6 of them. I was actually really shocked that there were this many of them. And I've got a graphic here for everybody. So let me pull it up real fast. Get the right buttons here. Like I said, I had this all prepared once, and you know, everything went haywire on me right as we were coming on the air. So,
okay.
Let me get that piece off the top so that the people that are viewing it on the other view over there on YouTube can see it as well. Here they are. So Kevin McGonigal has walked 73 times and struck out 70. Geraldo Perdomo has the biggest differential in number. He's walked 72 times and struck out 62. Stephen Kwan, 56 and 47. Jose Ramirez, the second player on the Guardians, 49 and 46. Liam Hicks, I barely know who the guy is, on the Tampa Bay Rays, 43 and 39. And if you look at Luis Arraez, yes, we have the picture of him in the Phillies uniform because he was just traded there. And if you look at his numbers, people are like, what, 26 and 23? That's right. He's only struck out 23 times so far this season, and that's because he gets so darn many hits. But the Philadelphia Phillies are batting him cleanup, by the way. We talked about that last week as to where we would bat him. What do you think here, Cheese? How impressive is this, being our stat of the week, that there are 6 players that have walked more than they've struck out?
Well, real quick, Liam Hicks was traded from the Marlins at deadline. I was shocked that the Marlins traded him. It's someone I would have kept. He's a really good player, but great move by the Rays. They make a lot of good moves.
Yeah, catch
but I mean, this is really impressive. You see this in the minors. You see some of the top prospects. You'll see this, right? You don't see this much in the major leagues. There's 2 players I want to mention. First of all, Luis Arraez. He only has 26 walks. That's terrible. That's terrible. Only 26 walks at this point. But he's on this list because he only strikes out 23. That's incredible.
Yes.
So one stat, I mean, he should have at least double that in walks. He swings at way too many pitches. But how can you only strike out 23 times? That's incredible. So that's one. And then Kevin McGonigal's a rookie. He's a rookie doing
He's
this.
a rookie.
There is a chance that he does this for every year of his career. If he's doing this as a rookie, I know he's one of the best prospects in baseball, but still, that's incredible. He was, by the way, when we did our previous show, I picked him for Rookie of the Year in American League, just throwing it out there. But yeah,
Don't break your arm patting yourself on the back.
The least surprising one on this list is Jose Ramirez. He seems to be around this every year.
You would think that the Guardians would be higher in the playoff standings with two of these guys, with Kwan and Ramirez.
I mean, they're doing pretty good. They're right there. But yeah, they don't. I don't think they hit a lot of home runs.
No,
they don't score. Yeah, they don't have enough consistent, home run hitters, like 4 or 5 hitter guys that hit 100 RBIs year in, year out. That's been their biggest problem. It's been their biggest problem, Mike, for like 4 or 5 years. You know this.
Yes. Yeah. It's not like this year's the only year.
Yeah. It's like Jose Ramirez and then everyone else. Like he's the one stud. And everyone else is like, they're decent, above average, nothing great.
Right. So one last time, scan that with your phone. Go to All Gloves Off Sports Media's new YouTube page at All Gloves Off. All right. Let's go back to here, add the top. Back to where we were, buddy. All right, so we are going to go into our football part of the show here. So let me get ready for all of that as we put everything together. And it's Cheese's time because it is time to do the football section of the show. And here we go. All right, Cheese, give us a little preview of what we're going to do here for the next few moments in our football segment for Down Territory.
So we're going to talk about a feud at Raiders camp. We're going to talk about retiring jerseys and what that means. We're also going to talk about which division we think might have the best record. And finally, we're going to talk about some uniforms, some classic uniforms in the NFL, a topic I love to talk about. So, yeah.
All right. It'll be interesting. I can't wait to do. Did not mean to hit that button. I can't wait to do all of that stuff here on the Lights Out Sports Podcast. Where do you want to start, Cheese?
Let's start with the Raiders.
Okay.
So Kirk Cousins and Max Crosby, if you've not seen this, they got into an altercation. Apparently, Crosby hit Cousins' arm twice in practice. It was unnecessary contact. Cousins was not happy, and the two had to be separated. If you didn't know, in practice, most of the time, quarterback wears a red jersey, which means you're not supposed to touch him at all. So, what do you think about Cousins' reaction? Do you think he's justified in being upset, or did he overreact?
Well, I mean, that is the rule. It's kind of an unwritten rule, but they wear the different colored jersey for a reason, right? And you're technically not supposed to touch him. But I also understand Crosby going, you know what? I know it's just practice, but I still want to play with intensity. I still want to play like we're on the field. So this is one of those things to where I get both sides of it. What about you, Cheese?
Red jersey, don't touch him.
Is it really that simple?
I think it is. I get what you're saying. I'm not like 100% on Cousins' side, but I don't touch the quarterback in practice. That's just, you don't do it. So I like the intensity, but at the same time, you're not supposed to touch the quarterback. So I get why Cousins was pissed. So I don't know if you saw this, but both players basically were benched for the rest of practice by Clint Kubiak, the head coach. Mm-hmm. Do you think that was the right move to discipline both players, in your opinion?
I mean, yes, I just said that I understood both of it. So, if they want to, if the Raiders want to make a statement, you can't really make a statement, or at least you're going to make the wrong statement if you only discipline one of them. So I think the best way to make the best statement is to discipline both of them. Yeah, I like the move actually. Really good thing to do, and new head coach and everything. So they put him on the spot right away.
Yeah, I think you discipline both or neither. But I mean, there's skirmishes all the time in practice. We see them. I've seen like a dozen this week or last week or so. But sometimes they're just. But you just see you're kicked out of practice for a day. But I think I agree with you. Either you have to discipline both or neither. So let's talk about each of these individuals. Some of you watching might not know a lot about them, but Kirk Cousins had some run-ins in the past, more so with organizations that he's played for, not necessarily for fighting a teammate. But he does have a reputation of overreacting and being, quote unquote, high maintenance. And Max Crosby apparently has had a history of doing this to quarterbacks in Raiders practice. Some saying he only knows one way to play. He goes 100% all the time, no matter what, even if it's practice. So my question for you is, if that is the case, shouldn't the Raiders have done something about this already? Should they have, told him that if you touch a quarterback again, that we're going to suspend you for a game or two?
Oh man, this is a tough question because you're the Raiders and you're trying to win, especially now. They've improved. I'm not saying they're going to win the division or anything like that, but I definitely see that they've got a good young running back. They've got a good young quarterback that's probably not going to start day one, but I think he'll start before the season is over. You're trying to win right now, and if you suspend Max Crosby for any kind of time, you're probably not going to win if you put your best player on the bench. But it does also send a message. So, I'm really torn on this one, buddy. This is a good topic. Yeah, they probably should have done something before now. That's yeah. Gun to my head, that's what I'm going to go with. They probably should have done something before now.
I agree. I mean, if this has happened in the past, I don't know how many times, but just doing a little research, he's done this before to other Raiders quarterbacks. It never was a story before until Cousins. Obviously, we talked about him. He's not going to take that. That's just who Kirk Cousins is. Yeah. He he will overreact or react accordingly if you agree with him. I feel like these two are never going to get along. I think they're in a butt heads. Just knowing their personalities, knowing I know about both these guys, they're going to hate each other forever. Like it's just not. No matter what, they're not going to get along. And maybe Max Crosby didn't like him and decided to do that. Give him a little love tap. So let's just say Max Crosby doesn't change. And he does it again. This time, maybe he accidentally, not on purpose, hurts someone like first overall pick Fernando Mendoza in practice. What do you think will happen if that occurs?
Oh, well, I mean, hopefully Crosby doesn't go that far. He just looks the part, right? He with the tattoos and the way he conducts himself, he just looks like the baddest guy on the team, right? So I'm wondering if he thinks he has to keep up that reputation. I'm wondering if he almost wants this to go public, like, yeah, I'm the guy, right? Don't mess with Max Crosby. And yeah, I don't know. But to answer your question, if he makes a mistake and he really hurts somebody, you've got to suspend him. You've got to fine him. You can't just let that go because there's nothing stopping him from doing it again.
Yeah, you can't hurt your team. It's a teammate,
right?
But I wonder
you can't be reckless. How about that? I think that's the word I would use here. You can't be reckless.
I wonder if Crosby's kind of done this to other quarterbacks just to give him a little love tap. Hit his arm. I don't know how hard he did or he did it on purpose. I don't think he was trying to hurt him, but I wonder if he knew much about Kirk Cousins. I wonder if he knew that Cousins is not going to take that because Cousins obviously won't. He's a guy that would scream at the media. He's called out other organizations. He doesn't like it when, you criticize him or give him any kind of controversy. He's not going to take it. It's just who Kirk Cousins is. So I wonder if Crosby didn't realize that Cousins was not going to take it well. Final question on this topic.
Okay.
I saw this a few places on X, actually. There's a conspiracy theory out there that Max Crosby wants Fernando Mendoza to be the starter week 1 and would not mind if Kirk Cousins gets hurt. And maybe he was, not trying to, but if it happens to hit his arm and he gets hurt, okay, I want Mendoza to be my quarterback. What do you think of that conspiracy theory?
I don't try to jump into conspiracy theories too much, but I have to say it does make some sense. And it's hard for us to judge this because I don't know about you, but I've not seen any video of this or anything else. I mean,
I watched the video of it. I definitely watched the video.
So did it look reckless? I mean, did it look like he was trying to intentionally hurt him? I mean, what it look like, Cheese?
It didn't look like he was trying to hurt him, but it looked like he was definitely trying to send a message, like give him a little tap. It looked like, apparently he did it twice. He hit his arm twice. So,
yeah, that's a whole coincidence thing from our earlier topic, right?
He wasn't going hard at him and accidentally hit his arm. That is definitely not what happened. And Cousins knew that. This is just this only happens to the Raiders. Raiders are such a mess of organization. This would only happen to them. Somehow if Max Crosby was traded to the Ravens, it wouldn't happen. Like, it just only happens to the Raiders. I don't know what to make of the organization. The Davises, maybe should sell the team because it's just not well run.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably not a bad idea as far as that part goes, but the whole team has had a reputation like this, not just Max. And then you're inserting a guy who doesn't like to be touched, who is a diva. I mean, I've watched the show on Netflix, Quarterback, for all I believe 3 seasons that it's been out, and you can tell. I mean, it's not like I don't like the guy, but I can also see Max Crosby hitting him, and then when Cousins starts to cry, he says, maybe you should win a playoff game or something like that. So
that might have been said. He won one.
Yeah,
he's got one.
Does he have one?
He has one.
Okay.
But I think he's 1-3. It's not like he's 1-2. I think he's had 3 playoff games ever. So it's not like he's like 1-7. He's like 1-2. I think he's had 3 playoff games ever. So, I mean, Kirk Cousins is what he is. He is a guy that's serviceable, maybe above average in his prime. He was never great. No one's ever going to call him great. But he was the best like Minnesota could do at the time. It's like, can we do better? No, in the draft. So we're going to keep him. He is what he is.
Okay, I got you. I like the topic, though.
It's something that shouldn't happen, but but first time I saw it, I laughed, to be honest with you.
I got to look up the film now.
Yeah, you'll have to watch it. And by the way, if Cousins keeps doing that, he's not going to win that fight. He's that's not someone I would ever fight.
Well, no, and he has to know that. I mean, he has to know.
He didn't care though at the time. He didn't care at the time.
He's just assuming that somebody else is going to take up for him.
One last point. Good for Clint Kubiak asserting his leadership.
Mm-hmm.
If you can suspend those 2 players, anyone can. So Clint Kubiak, we love the coaching hire, both of us. So I like that he set an example right away. He could have just, oh no, boys being boys. No, they got kicked out of practice. So I do like that he's showing leadership.
Me too. I like that. What we got next, buddy?
Arizona Cardinals. They're retiring Larry Fitzgerald's number 11 jersey. First of all, in general, do you like the move, retiring his number 11?
I like that they're retiring his number, and I like that they're putting him in the Hall of Fame, in their Ring of Honor, which is basically the team Hall of Fame. There's a huge difference in a team Hall of Fame and the NFL Football Hall of Fame, and I think there's a difference in retiring the number too. So, I don't know exactly where you want to go with this topic, but I think those are 3 different things.
Well, let's team Hall of Fame, very different Obviously, if you're a good player for a team, not a great player, you can get in the team's Hall of Fame. We know what the NFL Hall of Fame means. I don't think we need to describe that. I think we know to get in the NFL Hall of Fame what it means. But how about just the difference between team's Hall of Fame and actually retiring the jersey? Because most teams have less than 10, some of them have less than 5 jerseys retired.
Well, I will tell you this. In our live watch along that we did for the game on Thursday, I questioned you about Luke Kuechly only being in the league for 8 years, and does that mean he could be in the Hall of Fame? I put that video up on our TikTok today, and I'm getting trashed for it, by the way. People are going absolutely crazy that I would even insinuate that Luke Kuechly shouldn't be a Hall of Famer. So
I think the city of Charlotte got a wind of that video.
Yes, I think they did. I'm not sure if you've gone over and seen it, or if any of our,
I have not. I'll check it out.
Yeah, but there's some pretty good comments out there. There's some people who are hating my guts right now, but that's okay. So you're right. The NFL Hall of Fame is very prestigious. A team's Hall of Fame is like what you just said. They were important to that team, but they weren't important to the NFL as a whole. And then there's the whole retirement of a jersey. Now, I don't have a problem with them retiring Larry Fitzgerald's jersey at all, because he was very important to that team. He was very important to football. He holds a lot of records, and his number should be retired. But I don't like them retiring people's number unless you hit a certain threshold. Larry's hit it, but you've got to hit a certain threshold to me in order to have your number retired.
Or be Pat Tillman. That's a different story. But yeah,
that's a different story. They did that for a different reason, and I'm very much behind that reason as well. Being a first responder and stuff myself. Yes, absolutely. But yes. I know what you're saying.
That was the one. Yeah, that's the one exception. That's why I brought it up. But I just maybe Anquan Bolden, never going to be an NFL Hall of Famer.
No.
But he's going to be. Is he a Cardinal Hall of Fame? He's got to be, right?
Yeah, he was important to the team,
right,
so
right.
He's in there.
But they call it the
Ring of Honor,
yes. Right? So he should absolutely be in the Ring of Honor, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'll say this: Luke Kuechly, as I agree, as I said, he should be an NFL Hall of Famer, but I don't think the Panthers should retire his jersey because he only played 8 years. So I guess my point is, to get your jersey retired, it can't just be you're amazing for 7 or 8 years. You need to play with that team for a long time and make a whole impact. Maybe maybe play part of 2 decades, 2 different kind of, runs of that team, maybe. So we're about to talk about that. So I do want to ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
What about players? Well, do you want to respond to that first?
Well, let me respond to this a minute, because I'm going to make people trash you now. So I'm going to start this thing off by going clip. So you're saying Luke Kuechly is a Hall of Famer. You're saying yes. Luke Kuechly should be in the Carolina Panthers Hall of Fame, but he should not have his number retired based solely upon the fact that he only played in the NFL for 8 years. Yes?
Jersey retired for organization. He needed to play longer for the organization, not retire early. Yes, Hall of Fame, both Panthers and NFL, but jersey retired, I don't think he qualifies.
Okay, and I agree with you. There's like increments,
cool.
right?
I thought you were.
Well, no, I'm good. But I want some other, because like I said, people are trashing me right at the moment. So I want to get this, and I want everybody to understand where we're coming from, right? Absolutely, he could have played 4 years at the dominance that he played, and he probably still would deserve to be in the Panthers Hall of Fame, even at that. So now you've gone double that. All right, the next step is the NFL Hall of Fame. Fantastic. But I think that if you get both of those, there's still another step before you get your jersey retired. That's the big one. Or I think at least it should be the big one, even more than getting that jacket.
It's something that's rare. And you have to be a fan favorite. You have to play majority of your career for one team. There's some just obvious ones. Like, no one's ever going to wear number 12 for Green Bay again. They have not retired Aaron Rodgers' jersey, obviously, but no one's ever going to wear that. That's obvious. Those are obvious ones. But to get your jersey retired you have to be a special part of the organization, not just a very good player for several years, like Luke Kuechly was a very good player. You have to be special. And my next question for you is, what about a player who plays for 3 or 4 teams? So maybe he played majority of his career for this team, but he ends up playing for 3 or 4 teams. Do you think he should still be eligible to have your jersey retired by one team? Let me give you a quick example.
Okay, go ahead.
Reggie White played for 3 teams, and 2 teams retired his number. I think you can justify the Packers more. He played more seasons with the Packers. I think he played 5 seasons for the Eagles, and they also retired his number. So that's just kind of an example. But he also played for the Panthers as well. Do you think that should disqualify him? Should it be someone who only plays for one team? What do you think about that?
Wow, this is a good question here. They at least need to play the majority. But as you're saying, that's special, right? That's let's use some other sports. That's Tony Gwynn special. That is there's so many players that it's like, oh nope, he played for a different team. Oh nope, he played for a different team.
I just want to correct myself real quick. For 5, 6, 7, 8 years with the Eagles.
Oh wow.
6 with Green Bay, 1 with Carolina. Okay.
Well, he played more for the Eagles than I thought, actually.
But he won the Super Bowl with Green Bay. So.
Okay. Like a guy that I guess I can use here in Arizona, but be like a Calais Campbell type of guy. He was very important to the Arizona Cardinals at one point in his career, but he's also played with a bunch of other teams. Would I be upset if they retired his number? Actually, I kind of think I would, because I think he can make the Cardinals Hall of Fame. He probably will make the NFL Hall of Fame before it's all said and done. Just, a lot of his long.
How can he not? You cannot play at that level for 2 decades and not 10 of his basically 17 seasons with Arizona.
Yeah. So the majority of the time. But I don't know if he's that, because he's played 7 years outside of the organization. I would like for you to give your all to one organization before I retire that number, I guess is what I'm saying. And I don't think Calais would qualify for that.
I think it depends on some organizations, but you have it's more than just playing a long time. You have to be a fan favorite too. You can't be a guy that gets arrested. You can't be a guy that leaves trash organization. It has to be someone that is impactful in that generation. The fans love, sells a lot of jerseys.
On and off the field, right?
On and off the field, something that the person has to be. I'm trying to think of a better word than special, like special to organization. There's a better word for it. I can't quite think of it, but it's got to be that.
Loyal.
Like Cameron Hayward, Steelers retire his. That would make a ton of sense. He has spent his whole career with Pittsburgh. He's still playing at a high level into his 30s. That would make a ton of sense. I'm trying to think of some more examples, but.
Well, I mean, I'll give you another one that I think
real quick before you give that.
Yeah.
You can't retire every jersey. You have to
Correct.
give some numbers up. So it's really important who you give it to.
Yeah, there's a line. You're 100% right. There's a line right there. Like if you go to Monument Park at New York, where the Yankees play, and they've got all of these plaques out there, and they've retired all of these numbers. I think they've retired too many, because it then waters down the actual award, right?
But they had so many amazing players. That's why.
Okay, they did have a lot of good players.
Amazing.
But I think it waters down the award once you get to a certain number. I'll give you a guy who, with the Arizona Cardinals, is probably on his way, but I'm not sure if he's there quite yet. He needs 1 or 2 more seasons. Budda Baker. Really good player, has had a lot of impact on the Cardinals. I'm sure he's done stuff outside in the community that most of us really don't know about. And he's played every year with the Cardinals, even though he knows he's probably not going to win nothing. but he has been loyal and has stuck with us. So, yeah.
He has been to 8 Pro Bowls. He's been All Pro 4 times in 9 years. So that's pretty darn good.
Yes, but it's 9 years.
Yeah.
I told you during the watch along that we did the other day, I want double digit years. So I think Buddha's got to do 1 or 2 more years, and then I'm okay
at a high
with
level. Yeah, he's still. I'm just saying that's pretty darn special. What he's done so far is special. To the organization.
It is.
So yes, he keeps it up. He will be someone that you could stay qualified.
Right. So he's Cardinals Hall of Fame, definitely. He is on that borderline of NFL Hall of Fame, and he needs a year or 2 before he gets his jersey retired.
Yeah. I mean, I while you were talking about it, I looked him up. I didn't realize he's missed a Pro Bowl 1 year in his career, and he's been All Pro 4 of 9 years. That's pretty cool.
Yes, we've got a really good player, and I think sometimes we take advantage of him. But that's another topic for another day.
Can you imagine they put a great safety next to him like a Caleb Downs? But whatever.
Stop. That's what I wanted. Stop. You know that's what I wanted. You're
and
just
you could have
poking the bear
down
right
and
now.
done it. Well, they got good running back. There you go.
All right, buddy. What's next?
All right. It'd be nice if I pull up it. Okay. We're going to talk now about division records from last year. Do you have a graphic by chance?
I do here. Let me get it here real fast.
So it's basically the record by division.
Mm-hmm.
And some division, this just shows that some divisions are just stronger than others. Some teams get in the playoffs because they are in a weaker division, or some teams miss the playoffs because they're in a tougher division. There it is. Okay, so that's last year. Wow. NFC East. Okay. My question for you, let's just start with the NFC. What division do you think will have the best record in the NFC this year?
Well, now I tell you what, I'm going to hijack your segment for a second. We're doing the AFC this week. We're going to do the NFC next week, and then we're going to take the winner from this week and the winner from next week and let them face off against each other as we kind of build towards the NFL season.
Oh, okay.
So let's concentrate on the AFC this week, if you would, please, sir. Let's look at AFC, and then we got a poll question we got to get to as well that we did
I want you
yesterday.
To go first, AFC. I want you to go first, AFC.
Okay, so
it's tougher. It's tougher than NFC.
The AFC is tougher. I really looked at this graphic earlier. Okay, so let's look at the East. Personally, I think the Patriots are going to regress some. Excuse me. I think the Dolphins are going to regress. So therefore, I'm not going to give it to the East. The North is just the North. I think the Steelers are going to regress, and I just don't think the Browns are going to get any better, and if they are, it's going to be minimal.
I mean, even if a bunch of those teams improved, they were 10 games under 500 last year.
Correct.
It's not. I mean, I honestly do think the Ravens and Bengals are much better, but still, that's not a good record.
No, not for the division as a whole.
No.
The AFC South, I'll skip it for a second. For me, it was between the West and the South. I'm going to pick the South, and I'll tell you why in a second, but let me tell you why I'm not going to pick the West.
Okay.
I just don't think Kansas City is going to do as well as everybody thinks they are. I think they're aging pretty fast, and that's going to kind of catch up with them this year. The Raiders are not going to be fantastic because they're not going to start Mendoza in the beginning, and then even if they start in midseason, you can't expect him to come out like a blaze of glory and just light up everything, so give him a year. I do believe that the Broncos are going to be right there at the end, and I think the Chargers might be the most improved team in the entire AFC because of one guy. I believe you'll agree with me here, Mike McDaniel. I think he'll make a huge difference in that team. But as I look at the South, I think the Colts will improve with Daniel Jones being their quarterback for the entire season. I think the Houston Texans and Chad, is it Chad? What's the quarterback's name from Ohio State? AJ Stroud. I think he knows that he has to improve. He's had 2 really down seasons. You're going to see them bounce back. And I think the Tennessee Titans might be the most improved team that are kind of on that bottom. They're going to make it up to that middle section. So that's why I'm going to choose the AFC South.
We're about to talk about a poll question in a second. They disagree with you.
Yes,
I get what you're saying. I think the Jaguars are going to draw. I don't think they're going to be nearly as good. I'm not as high on the Colts as you. I I'm going to go with the West. I am going to go with the West because I do think the Chiefs way overachieved in 2024 and way underachieved last year. I do think they're more going to be more toward 9-10 wins than 6. And I think the Chargers and Broncos are going to be amazing. I don't know what the Raiders are going to be. They could win 4 games. They could win 7. Who knows? So I'm going to go with the West. That's who I voted for. Looks like the poll more agreed with me. Do you have the poll pulled up?
I do not. I'm working on it, but I don't have it
I do.
pulled up. Oh,
Would you
okay.
like
Then
me
you
to
go
go
right
over the
ahead,
poll?
sir.
Okay, the question was, which of the AFC division will have the best record? Obviously, we just talked about. Last place, AFC South, which you just
AFC
said.
South, yep.
But I'll say this: the people doing the poll probably didn't have this graphic, but 5.6% of people said the AFC South. Second place, AFC East, 16.7%. I agree with you. I don't think the Dolphins or Jets are going to be good at all. So you can't pick a division where 2 of the teams aren't going to be very good.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely dismissed the East as well, even though they had tied for the best record last year. And then tied for first, the North and the West, 38.9%. I think the North, people think, oh, well, Steelers, Ravens, Bengals all have a shot to make the playoffs. So that's why they put them high. But I'm kind of with you. I don't think it'll be the North. I think it'll be the West. You think it will be the South.
Yes. Okay. I like it.
Right.
I
Next
like it
week, we will do the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think the poll will be skewed one way, but we'll see. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. One of us will probably surprise you. Who knows?
That's
Okay.
true. Now, are you going to the uniforms next, or are we doing something different?
Oh, yeah. We're definitely doing uniforms. You have the graphic? Okay.
I do. I'm pulling it up right now.
How do you want to rank them? Just the top 3? Or do you want to do 9 to 1? Do you want to rank all 9? We should talk about this before the show.
Yes, we should. We should probably do that.
So
I'll tell you
what
what,
Mike's
let's go back and forth here. Let's just do, and here are the throwback uniforms, right? We're going to pull them up on the screen here. Let me get the graphic off the top real fast. There we go.
We have 9 teams
Mhm.
with throwback uniforms, and we can rank them. We can go back and forth. What do you want to do?
Well, okay, so I'll start it off this way. There's a couple of these that I'm just not impressed with. I don't think the Dolphins uniform looks much different than their regular uniform, and I'm the same way with the Giants. I don't think the Dolphins or the Giants really look any different than the uniform that they wear, and the Jaguars too, to be honest. So I'd put them as my bottom 3. How about we do it this way? Bottom 3, middle 3, top 3. How about that?
None of those 3 are my bottom 3.
Okay. Well, I know what's in your bottom 3, and it's going to be my number 1 because I love it. But I know you can't.
My worst one is creamsicles. I hate it. It was the worst uniform of all time until I saw the Bills nickel uniforms. That nothing's worse than that.
The Diet Pepsi can.
The Diet Pepsi Buffalo Bills is the worst uniforms of all time. Congratulations, creamsicles. You're no longer the worst uniforms of all time. I don't like this Patriots. I like the blue Patriots. I don't like the Kelly Green Eagles. No, I don't like these Patriots. I like the 90s royal blue Patriots. I like the 90s uniforms because that's what I grew up in. That was when I was a little kid. So that's what I like. So my bottom 3 is creamsicles, Pat the Patriot, and Kelly Greens. Okay, so your bottom 3 was completely different, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Or what do you want to do
I
now?
said Jaguars, Dolphins, and Giants.
Okay.
My
right.
middle 3 would be Pat the Patriot, the Seahawks. Those don't even look like Seahawks uniforms. I don't know what they're doing. And probably the.
I love those. Okay.
No. It's weird how we just do not get along with this one. And the Kelly Greens I don't really like. I know Gomez is going to be upset with me when he watches this podcast later, but I just don't like your Eagle Kelly Green.
I'm going to get Bully to jump on here.
I just don't like it.
Hold on. Let me see if I can get Bully to jump on. Here's the Seahawks fan. Okay, so your middle 3. Okay.
The Seahawks, Pat the Patriot, and Kelly Green are my middle 3.
Okay. My middle 3 are the Chargers. I do like them a little better than the now. And that's Dane Thomas in Chargers.
Mm-hmm. That's who it reminds me of, 100%. Him and Dan Fouts. That's who I think of when I see that uniform.
San Diego Supercharger. Why is Bully not popping up? Oh, hold
I don't know. A guy
on.
named Bully.
I gotta remember who my favorite three are. Oh, Dolphins, middle. Like you said, it's similar. I think it's a little better. I like these a little better than the newer ones. And
But
then
it's
the
not much
Jaguar.
different. Give me something different.
The arms, the stripe is different. The helmet's a little different too, just a little bit. But I like these Dolphins a little better. And the Jaguars, I like these Jaguars better. Jaguars, these aren't great, but the Jaguars now have horrible uniforms.
Yes.
So that's why it's not bottom threes, because these are just a lot better. Even though they're
just
not
because
great,
their current uniform sucks, that means
Oh,
they're
it's
not bottom
terrible.
three.
Let me see if I can get Bully on here.
All right, you do that, and I'm going to give you my top three. In fact, I can give you 3, 2, and 1. 3 would be the Chargers because, I don't know. I think it's just a throwback uniform that reminds me of some throwback players that used to play for them. Like you said, Tomlinson, Dan Fouts. I used to really like the Bolts when I was growing up. So maybe it's just kind of a personal thing for me growing up with them. I love these Denver Bronco uniforms. It's like the 2 orange ones are my big ones. And I like it because it's with the powder blue. I like that color scheme together. And my favorite one, and maybe it's because it's my favorite brand of ice cream, I just love these creamsicle uniforms that Tampa Bay has. And I'll tell you this, if my guy Baker signs a long-term contract with them, I'll probably buy a Baker. And I'll have to buy the knockoff one because I can't afford to do the real one. But I don't have $200 to lay down. But we're
going to start a GoFundMe.
There we go.
Austin, to answer your question, the graphic that I found on X didn't have the brands. I didn't make this graphic. I found it on X. I thought it was cool. But I liked the late 90s Greatest Show on Turf uniforms Rams. I do like those.
Okay. So then what are you already gave us your number one. Yeah.
No, I didn't give you number one. He has not responded. I'm curious what Bully thinks about the Seahawks. My number 3, I'm going to do 3, 2, 1, is the Giants. You don't like the Giants. One of my first memories of football was like Lawrence Taylor, Phil Simms, Bill Parcells, the Giants, blue. I like it better than the NY and the gray pants. I'm not a huge fan of those. So I like the Giants instead of the NY on the uniform. So I really like those Giants throwbacks. Number 2 is the Seahawks. The thing with the Seahawks is they were, to me, the silver helmet, silver pants, blue with a little green. I loved those as a kid. It's before the Seahawks joined the NFC, and I started hating them when they went up against my Packers a lot of times. But when they were in the AFC, they kind of were one of my favorite AFC teams because I really liked their uniforms. Way better than they are now.
Yeah.
The all navy, I don't like. Number 1, uniforms of all time, hands down, never should have changed, is the Denver Broncos throwbacks. They are the best uniforms of all college, of all NFL. They are awesome with the D and the Bronco in it and the colors, all of it. They should bring those back. I've talked about it on my channel multiple times. Love those uniforms.
I'll let you take that one.
There's Sting of Seahawks. It exists. There is a Seahawk. You can Google it. Because I Googled it once. But it is a thing.
I do have to say that Seahawk uniform does remind me of Steve Largent. He was one of the better, most underrated receivers ever in the game. So,
well, he broke records. Jerry Rice broke his record. So, I mean, I don't know if he's underrated if he had all the records before Jerry Rice, but I didn't see him play.
I don't know who he is.
Well, I know exactly who he is, but I never saw him play. I was too young, unfortunately. Like, I'm not, your age.
Yeah, of course. Got to throw that in there at least once every podcast. At least you waited until, the 148 mark.
But no, that's a cool talk. That was fun. And let us know in the comments what your favorite throwbacks are.
Mm-hmm. We would love to know. We would. Anything else for the football today, sir?
I think that's all I got. You got anything else?
I actually have something I want to ask you about. What about this new rule with the NFL challenge flag, where it's not just the head coach that can throw it? It's anyone. You have to designate someone on the sideline. Who are you going to designate, Cheese? Why are they doing this rule change?
Okay. So this rule change is the head coach has a lot going on. They have to listen to the defensive plays, the offensive plays. They have to make decisions, late game management, to have to communicate with someone at the box. We need to throw a challenge flag is another thing on their plate. This is what a lot of NFL coaches have complained about. Like, I want to throw the challenge. We've seen this. They snap the play and then they throw the red challenge as the play is snapped. So what they want to do is designate somebody that can communicate with the box that says, I saw the replay. We need to challenge this. So it's not going to be a coach. Well, it shouldn't be. I mean, I hope not. It should not be an assistant coach. It should be a random person that works for an organization. Maybe he's the film room guy during the week, whatever, that is in communication, has a headset, and they say, throw it now. And he has a good arm because he can throw it near the official, wherever the official is. So this is what a lot of teams wanted. That's why they're doing it. I don't necessarily love it because it's going to lead to a lot of problems because there might be a coach who's not happy, doesn't want to waste a challenge this early on like a 7-yard play. Someone might throw it and like, what are you doing? So it can create problems taking the coach out of it. I don't know. What do you think?
I agree with you. It will probably do that as well.
Yeah.
But I also think it's interesting. And from what I've read, it doesn't have to be the same guy all year long. It could be different people with different games. And so, like, if they start with one guy and they don't like how he's doing the flag, then they can change it to somebody else. And again, it's just I understand why they're doing it, but I think it's going to cause some problems in some of the teams that aren't very good. I don't think it's going to cause problems in teams that are good. I think it's going to be a point of contention in some of these, the Clevelands, the Jets of the world that aren't very good, and they'll blame certain things on certain people. And, we can't blame the head coach, so we got to blame somebody else.
But there's going to be a problem by week 3 or 4 where someone throws a flag and the coach is like, what are you doing? And like communication or they just jump the gun. They're like, or maybe the person that has the red flag, maybe it's someone young who's an intern or something, and they're just in charge of it, and they just see something and they just react and they just chuck it. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily like this, but I understand why they're doing it. Austin, I love the Bills 90s uniforms, the Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas ones. I want to bring those back, not necessarily the OJ. I like those better than the modern Bills.
Yeah, the only thing that OJ looked good in was a white Ford Bronco. Anyway, so
okay,
you're just gonna let that one go, huh?
Al Cowlings is the driver of that.
Yes. So I'll put this up here real quick. We don't really cover this per se, but I am going to cover it, I think, on the Sports Pulpit because I agree with you. The WNBA is a mess right now, and I'll just kind of leave it at that, and we'll do some more stuff here in just a little bit.
I'll just say this: I don't know what I never watched it. I have no idea what the technical foul is, but the WNBA is only talked about when there's something controversial, and so I think they're calling technical fouls on her, or they're having players be more aggressive or the pointing thing to get people talking about it. Because if there's not something controversial, no one talks about WNBA. So maybe that's why they're giving her technical fouls. I haven't seen them, but I'm just saying the WNBA is more about the controversy than anything else.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole thing, and I know you don't watch it, but the whole thing right at the moment is that she gets beat up all the time, and they never call the foul on her. There was a chick that took up for her that
people probably talk about that.
Right, that basically just got mauled in the game. It was more than a foul.
The pointing girl, right? The girl that pointed.
Yeah, Sophie Cunningham was her name.
Okay, because she pointed. Maybe there's a script, or maybe there is. Maybe they're told do technical fouls. Maybe they're told to do that, so we get people talking about it. Maybe that'll increase viewership. Because otherwise, she's hot. Which one?
So I'm assuming Sophie Cunningham.
Let me Google her. Oh, the pointing girl. Okay, yeah. I don't know. I'm about 5'9" maybe if you round up a little. So I don't think I'm a good fit for her.
Anyway. Talking to her armpit. Anyway, okay. Let's rescue the show real quick. Let's
I
review.
really found a basketball girl hot, but anyway.
All right. So, yeah. Where are we at here? Hang on, I got to find out where we are. Okay.
We're at the end of the show, I believe.
Yes,
right?
we are. We got one more section left, and we're going to do two things here. We're going to add this. I've always wanted to do something like this, Cheese. We'll talk about this after the show. See how you like how we did this. I didn't talk to you about it. I just did it. Lights out term talk. We're going to talk FIP, fielding independent pitching, Cheese. It's an advanced baseball statistic that measures a pitcher's performance based on only the factors that the pitcher, can directly control. It's measured on these. There's 4 of them. It's Ks or strikeouts, walks, hit by pitch, and home runs. So that is all that fielding independent pitching measures. It doesn't measure hits. It doesn't measure errors. It doesn't measure how good or bad the defense is behind you. It doesn't measure barrel rate or hard hit rate or any of that kind of stuff. It only mentions, and it factors into play, strikeouts that the pitcher can control, walks that the pitcher can control, obviously hit by pitch that the pitcher can control, and a home run, because nobody else touches the ball, right? The pitcher lets it go, it hits the bat, and it's over the fence. So it's only the pitcher and the hitter. So we say that because now we're going to go into batting cleanup by forwardfan.com. Let me get the graphic here. I have to switch back and forth here because, again, I'm not real sure what was going on with all of this today. But let me give you the graphic here for forwardfan.com before we get into the segment. And there it is. We have the exclusive discount. We have all kinds of stuff here with it as Forward Fans, one of our first sponsors there. So you can go to forwardfan.com. I've got some ticket prices here to look at. They have an exclusive 10% off discount through us. If you use the code AGO10, there's the scan code. You can scan it right now. That'll take you right to forwardfan.com. Cheese, you live in Texas. Suddenly your Astros are doing really well. I was going to write them off, and here they are. They're first in the division, buddy.
Do you remember who picked them to make the playoffs and who didn't?
I know I didn't pick them.
Never gave up on them. They're not my Astros, so I'm a Braves and Cubs fan. But I go to their games more than anyone. So yeah.
Okay, so now all of a sudden they're on top of that division. Their tickets, looks like they're going to make the playoffs at least. $190 a ticket through forwardfan.com.
Oh, wow.
Of course, you get an extra 10% off of that as well. The Phillies, Cheese, they're right there in the playoff race as well, and they're $180 for Phillies tickets too. If you believe in the Philadelphia Phillies and you want to buy a World Series ticket for them, it's only $180 right now on forwardfan.com. But let me give you these.
Real quick, it's 180, but how much do World Series tickets cost? Like, how much would they
thousands.
Save? Thousands. So all you have to do is pay right now 180, 190 if you're Phillies Astros fans, and you would save so much money because it costs thousands for World Series tickets.
We got some really funny posts over here. I have to get to them in a minute.
Okay.
There's some inside jokes going on over here. That's got to be one of them. Has to be somebody from my work. I'm not sure who that is, but one of them I know it is. So, the Tigers, right? All of a sudden they trade away Scrooble, they trade away Mize, and they're doing better. So they're right back in the hunt as well.
They've done this before. The Tigers have done this before. They sell the deadline, then they get hot and make the playoffs.
Yeah, they did it. They've done it before. And if you're in Detroit or if you're a big Detroit Tigers fan, their tickets, believe it or not, are only $30.
Oh, wow. It's
so
worth $30. It's worth $30 World Series tickets. Yes.
Absolutely. And let me give you the last one because I keep waiting for these tickets to go through the roof, and they have not yet. I even keep saying that I'm going to buy them, and I haven't done it. I may do it this week. I really might.
Do it.
Diamondbacks tickets.
Oh, okay.
Diamondbacks tickets are only $40 right now, and they are the second wild card team right behind the Cubs. So Arizona Diamondback fans, get on there. Go to forwardfan.com. Use your 10% code that you can get through us right here at All Gloves Off. Use the code AGO10. And how
I thought you.
$10.
Well, I was going to say, I thought you were going to say Reds. I thought you believed in your Reds they were going to get hot. I thought you were like, yeah, my Reds.
No,
Okay.
I was believing in them until they got swept by the Nationals, and
Yeah, and the Nationals got they lost without James Wood too. He was out. Sorry, didn't mean to rub it in.
no, it's okay. So there's a whole bunch of these here. So let's leave the ForwardFan.com thing up for a moment. We'll let you guys just kind of read some of these because I don't want to not pay attention to our fans here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find out. I'm gonna shoot some people here. So here's the inside joke, right? A couple of years ago, I was like, yeah, the Milwaukee Brewers have the best bullpen in baseball, and you should bet on them. And that's when first baseman now plays for the Orioles, plays for Pete Alonso, hit that big home run, knocked the Brewers right out of the playoffs. And, so, and then it was, then of course, then we got this. And that's where that comes from, by the way, the same thing there. So these are people from my work throwing shade at me.
Here's what you
right
do.
now.
Here's what you do. If he predicts them to make the playoffs go far, just take the under for the win total, and you've made money.
There you go.
That's how you do it. I mean, he picked the Bengals to make the Super Bowl last year. They won 7 games.
All right. So
I'm going to pay for that one.
I believe that I've got the
Brewers have a very good bullpen. Brewers have a very, very good bullpen. One of the best, not the best in the National League. So to answer your question, yes, that is a big strength of them.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see if I've got this graphic pulled up here. Yes. And here is the graphic that we need for the next part. And it's this right there.
Field independent pitching. Yes.
Yes, we were talking about fielding independent pitching, and there's a reason for that because from the X account of Just Baseball, something that you guys should all go and follow, we do, great X account. No team in baseball has multiple pitchers with 110 or more innings pitched and a FIP, fielding independent pitching, below 3.20, except for the Phillies. And they have 3. And they are, of course, on this chart for you that we just put up on the screen. Those 3 pitchers would be Christopher Sanchez, Zach Wheeler, and where's the other one?
Jesus Luzardo.
That's right.
Like I said, they might be able to beat the Dodgers in a 3-game series with that starting pitching. Even though the Dodgers are better defensively, a better lineup, better bullpen, they have that starting pitching. I'd love to see Dodgers Phillies first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be really interesting when these playoffs and stuff all get here to see how all this is going to actually pan out.
And I'll just say this. Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
no, you're good. Go.
I'm just saying FIP, field independent pitching. A lot of teams will use that more than ERA. We've seen Cubs do. For example. More so if a guy has like a 4.5 ERA, 4.3, if their FIP is 3.6, 3.7, okay, we'll pay him like he's got that in free agency. Mm-hmm. Because they have a good defense. If you have a bad defense, then you can't take, that's the thing. It factors in non-defense. So if your team is bad defensively, then FIP is not as important. And the Cubs know they have a great defense. Diamondbacks, another team. Dodgers, another great defensive team. They can take more chances on those guys and think, okay, maybe their ERA will be a run lower because of that. So just want to throw that out there. And there, for some reason, there are some pitchers that every year their ERA is just a run higher than their FIP for whatever reason, no matter what. And you just stay away from those guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Just stay away, right? Okay, so we've got 4 topics. That's why it's called batting cleanup. It's the 4th position. We will get to the other 3 right now. First of all, Cheese, I want to get your opinion on this. Saturday's Chris Sale game, he did balk by the rule But MLB does not always go by that rule. So you can't pick and choose which rules that you enforce on any given day. You need to enforce them all and not have your kind of pet peeves. Sale held his temper and allowed his manager to intervene, and then confronted the umpires the next day and actually got thrown out of that game. But as you already know, and so should most of our fans,
Yes.
that game didn't matter if he got thrown out of or not. So how great was Chris Sale and what he did because of that Saturday game?
He was so pissed. And Walt Weiss had his back. I love that. Managers, no matter what, if you agree with Sale or not, you have to have your team's back. And he had his pitcher's back. He was out there like that. I didn't like the call. I thought it was really funny. I laughed the next day when he got tossed. I had it hit on the TV right here. I saw it, and then like the pregame. Usually the pregame I have it like on mute, and there's something going on. I'm like, what's going on? And I was like, he already got tossed from the game. They were explaining it. It was funny, but I love that. It made me like Walt Weiss more for getting his back. But I don't know what a balk is. Some of the times it's called and sometimes it's not. I really don't know what a balk is.
Well, in this particular instance, it's pitching from the stretch and it's pitching from the I can't think of the other word. There's two different ways you can pitch. And you have
the wind up or
the wind up. There you go.
Yeah, wind up. Okay.
Wind up and the stretch. So you have to declare what you're doing when there's men on base every time. That's what you're supposed to do by rule. He did not declare it, did it the second time. They called it. It's technically a rule, but most of the time the umpires never make you call it or anything like that. So that's what I meant by don't have the pet peeve. Don't decide to call it this game and not the next game. Everything has to be fair down the line, down the board, and it really is not.
Well, he didn't. He waited like a second or two before he called it. It wasn't like as a quick reaction, and no other umpire called it. So I think the other guys were going to let it slide.
I think so too.
So it just kind of annoyed me. And I get why he was pissed, and it was just really funny seeing him toss at the beginning of the next game. He was still pissed about it, and I get why he's pissed.
But yeah, it ended up costing them the game. That run cost them the game.
It cost them the game. Yeah, that's a good point. It was a 3-2 final against the Yankees. Yeah, and that was the third run. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, all right, we got another one to get to here. Let me. I believe I have the graphic for it as well. So I'm gonna click the right buttons here and pull it up. Hopefully, yes. We're gonna look at the MLB postseason schedule. Here it is. Let me get this graphic off the top here real fast. Clicking buttons everywhere. I need a producer or something here besides me. All right, so here's the postseason schedule. You got the wild card, you got the ALDS, and you got the ALCS, and then the World Series. So this year the World Series is not going to go into September. It will end October 31st, no matter what. And then I really like it because that terrible four-letter word franchise does not have any of the games. It's either TBS or Fox. So I'm real happy about that.
Or NBC.
Or NBC, Peacock. Yeah.
They have the wild card. Yeah.
They have the wild card games. Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this postseason. And I really like the announcers over on Fox and stuff a lot better. So I think this will be a better postseason than most. What jumps out to you about this postseason schedule?
One thing I don't like it when they started doing buys. I don't like all these off days. So, for example, the NLCS starts the day before the ALCS. So the NLCS, if it's a sweep, they're going to wait a week till they play again.
Yeah.
Even if they don't, there's 4 days in between. That's insane. Like, this is not baseball. Baseball, you get maybe 1 day. All-Star break, you don't even get that long. Like, so they used to be just you get a day break from the last series and they just start. It wasn't like scheduled. Now they want to schedule everything. I just don't like all this off days. And why are we playing till Halloween? You don't need to play that late. But there's too much gap in between. It's never going to change. This is what they decided.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, it's for TV purposes. It's for revenue purposes. It's
for scheduling when you're
for
selling
scheduling.
tickets.
Yeah.
But it's not good for the players. It's not good for to have this break. It's not good to play till October 31st. It's cold most cities. It's cold. Obviously, the Dodgers will probably be in it toward the end. Not there, but it's going to be like Halloween. It could be really cold in Chicago. You know, it could be cold in Boston. So
it'll be
that's
nice in Arizona, though.
Yes, it would. Well, that's an indoor stadium. I don't know if you knew that. I don't know if you've been there many times. I'm guessing
just a few times.
Yeah.
Just a few.
So that's my only big problem with it is just the gaps in between each series. When I was a kid, it was when you played your last game, whether it was, if both teams were done, you took one day off and you started the next series. I wish they bring it back, but they never will.
All right. So our fans asking us, did you discuss the Highmark Stadium obstructed view seats? I'm sure you've seen them online. I don't know. It wasn't really a topic that I was going to bring up. Do you want to discuss the obstructed view seats in the stadium?
I have no idea. I don't know. Oh, yeah. They're doing it on a case-by-case basis. When you design a new stadium, this should not happen. Brand new stadium,
architectural flaw, right?
This cannot happen. Somebody bleeped up. This cannot happen. You spent all this time, $2.1 billion stadium. This cannot happen. And it's probably not an easy fix. They're addressing it by case basis. That's not a good thing to say either. Wow. Thick metal handrails attached to glass cut directly through their line of sight. Wow. They really screwed this up.
Yeah, there's some definite obstructed seats, and
it can't happen.
People started talking about it, and the Buffalo Bills had to make a statement yesterday about it. So I mean, if a team has to come out and make a statement, it's a pretty big deal, right?
It's just whoever designed the stadium, you cannot make that flaw. And it's not just who designed it, people that built it, like everybody, there's a process. Like everyone in the Bills organization, you have to see that flaw. Like multiple people had to mess up for this to happen. And no other stadium has this issue that I know of. New stadiums. I don't hear about this. They really screwed up.
All right. Last thing we're going to do, it's the fourth thing on our batting cleanup presented by ForwardFan.com. Here it is, Cheese. I sent this to you. I'm not sure if you listened to it. It's Adam Vinatieri's speech and this part about Bill Belichick in the speech. So I'm going to play it for you. I've got it on the phone. I'll put it by the microphone. We'll listen to it, and then I'll ask you a question about it. All right, here we go.
Okay.
I would repeat those last few statements about Coach Bill Belichick as well. Thank you for demanding excellence every single day. Your preparation, discipline, and attention to detail shaped far more than my football career. Unfortunately, Bill couldn't make it here today. There's a lot going on at UNC right now. He may be on a recruiting trip right now looking for the next Lawrence Taylor. I thought it was because training camp had already started, but in truth, it's because he's judging his girlfriend's cheerleading competition.
And of course, I got a big crowd reaction and everything else. I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. But my question to you, Cheese, is this a Hall of Fame speech? Can you do something like this? Can you make fun of people like that in the Hall of Fame speech, or is that just taboo?
He can do whatever he wants. He's in the Hall of Fame. He's getting in, do whatever he wants. Obviously, took a shot at Bill for not coming, I'm guessing. I don't know, Vinatieri. Maybe he thought Bill should have been there and he wasn't, so he took a shot at him. And he's every right to do it. It was funny.
I loved it. I thought it was hilarious. And then I also want to point out the tie that he wore during the ceremony. Not sure if you had noticed it, saw it. It was blue and white. He wore that because Jim Irsay's daughter gave that to him before the speech. So he wore that in honor of his old owner of the Indianapolis Colts, Jim Irsay, who has recently passed away. So he did a little bit of everything. He honored a lot of people in that speech, but like no one else really cracked on anybody else like that. They were all serious, and it was, thank you and thank you and thank you. And here Adam Vinatieri comes up there and starts. That was not the only joke that he said about people. He was roasting people pretty good in this speech. I thought it was a breath of fresh air as far as that part goes.
I mean, everyone's different. Someone wants to make a few jokes. Some people just are emotional and cry. It's just how, like, baseball Hall of Fame. I still remember Greg Maddux made a joke about John Smoltz's hairline. Do you remember that? Did you? That was so funny. And Smoltz was like, "I'm getting in next year. I'm going to get you back." Like, so some guys like to just take shots at other guys. It's just it's nice to have. They're not all serious. So I thought it was great.
All right. I don't have anything else, buddy. Do you have anything else you want to add to the end of the Lights Out Sports podcast? Maybe, I don't know, plug your show one more time or something like that?
I never do that.
Oh,
I never do that. Oh, no, it's football with cheese.
I only got a mug that's got it on it.
Yes. And then on X, football cheese. And right now, I'm doing 32 teams in 32 days, basically the whole month of August, started late July. So I'm basically going over every positive thing could happen. All the good things that happen in your team, all the best players. So I'm hyping up your team. So I'm doing that now. And I just did Cowboys today. Tomorrow is the Giants. Thursday will be the Commanders. Friday, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm doing the NFC East right now.
I was going to say, you're going by division there. I
going by division. And yeah, I've already done the North, and then I'm going to do the West, and then we'll finish with the South. And I'll finish by late August. I'll be done. So yeah. All
right, you promise?
Well, I have to be 32 teams in 32 days. If I do one video a day, I have to be done by August 30th.
Okay. I'm glad you planned all that out, sir. I really am. All right.
I'll say this real quick.
Yeah.
The best viewed one so far is the Bengals. And the least viewed is like the Dolphins and Jets. The Browns is the third least. All the teams that are supposed to be good are watching the videos. The teams are supposed to be very good. They're not getting so many views. Oh, my Jets video. Please watch it. Oh, there's Bully. There he is. Oh, you missed the Seahawks uniforms. I was just talking, Bully, how much I liked the Seahawks uniforms before they changed. Like back in the 90s when I was growing up. I missed those Seahawks uniforms with the silver helmet and silver pants.
Hang on. He's putting some more stuff up. I'll get to him here.
That's Bully, everyone.
Hang on. I'm pulling up the graphic again. There we go.
There it is. Oh, you got to take away the top part.
Yeah, I'm working on it, man. I'm working on it.
Okay, no.
Only one guy, man. Only one guy.
Yes, I like those Seahawks throwbacks. Yes.
Right,
so much better than the Seahawks uniforms now. But I don't think anyone's complaining because they're the world champions and they should be very good.
That's a good line.
It's already happened, man. but not hype videos. I've done plenty of videos on Packers. Maybe more negative, but
yeah. And he likes the throwback jerseys, so do we. So do we. We really do. We really like them a lot. So. All right, let's take this thing off. Let's put our header back on the top real fast. Tell you who we are. We are the Lights Out Sports Podcast. We thank each and every one of you for joining us today. And I will tell you that Sports Pulpit will be starting back up this week. I've taken a few weeks off. We are doing a bunch of different stuff. I'm trying to do TikTok and everything else for All Gloves Off Sports Media. You can jump on there with us. We just got to 100. Our YouTube is almost at 150. Help us out. Like, subscribe, do the things that you all know you're supposed to do for all of our social medias, and we thank you for doing that. Cheese, anything else, buddy?
Luke Kuechly is one of the best linebackers, not the best I've ever seen.
Okay. All right, let's rub that
TikTok agrees with me.
Yes. Yes, they do. All right, guys.
I had to get that in.
You just had to. Okay. So, as we always say at the end of every one of these shows, the only thing that's fair in life is a baseball hit between the third and first base lines. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us.